Hey guys, I'm Jahlil.
And I'm Nicolil.
And we're the Mitchells.
Today we're doing a video that's a little bit different than the ones we've done in the past. We're using a Q&A type format where I'll be asking Jahlil questions and he'll be answering them. And the topic of today's Q&A is his art. This is formally called the Starving Artist Tag, but since we're not starving, we ever full, we're not calling it that. But we're just doing an artist Q&A. So let's get started. How did you get into art, and what inspires you to keep doing art today?
I actually could probably show you what got me into art. It was like a comic book, Dragon Ball Z comic book that I had in, I want to say 4th grade or 3rd grade. And I was really into Dragon Ball Z at the time, and then superheroes kind of continued that art style for me, where I was actually trying to create my own superhero like comic book series when I was a kid. But now my art style has changed a little bit more. Like, yes, I still like superheroes, but then I have a lot of Afrocentric art style artwork that I make. I found that's my calling right now, and that's what I'm feeling, and that's what I want to make art of.
What's your favorite experience as an artist?
Just picturing it in my head is kind of my favorite part, because then I kind of see where the picture in my head kind of translates to paper and then kind of translate into a painting or an art piece. So like, I like the visualization, and then I try to compare it to where it ends up as a final product. So I think that's my favorite part, is just kind of seeing what I imagined and then what I actually made.
And then to follow up with that, what is your least favorite experience of being an artist?
The drops of motivation. The times where I'm like highly motivated, and then the times that when I'm like really uninterested in touching anything because I'm afraid of either ruining this piece of artwork, or I'm just not interested in working on this artwork. I would say that that's my least favorite part, is when I get unmotivated and stop touching my artwork, because then it makes it harder for me to kind of get back into it.
What is your dreams and or goals for your art in the future?
My dream is to continue doing my art for the rest of my life, as well as share that art with other people.
What's your favorite medium and why?
I would say pencil and pen is probably my favorite medium, because that's the one I worked with the longest. Things that I saw, like a scenery in the classroom or lunchroom, just kind of drawing and sketching what I see. So pencil and pen is my favorite art medium, but I'm slowly growing into liking acrylic paint.
Why do you love art, and what inspired you to do art?
That's a good question. I love art because it gives me a way to express the ideas I see in my head, because I'm always visualizing new different things, and I want to see, oh, what would this look like if I did put these two types of ideas together. Like my first series, like I put up portraits of Black people with the universe and kind of put them together, and it was kind of fun doing that, because I kind of see my imagination in real life. What makes me continue doing art is that I realize that art is what keeps me mentally balanced, I guess, or maybe not mentally balanced, but just balanced in general. It gives me a way to vent and express how I feel when I'm going through stressful times.
Favorite piece of art that you've ever made?
I honestly couldn't answer that question, because I don't think I ever have a real favorite piece of art, because each art has always been a growing experience for me. I'm always creating something new, and then I like adapt, and I was like, oh, I learned this from making this piece, so when I make something else, I kind of use those little pieces to make the next one better. So I don't feel like it's ever one piece that I say I'm like madly in love with, because I'm always using them as a learning experience. And I feel like I love all my art, but I don't think there's one that I love more than the others. I feel like each one just gives me different feelings.
Is there a piece of art that was particularly one that you learned a lot from?
The Child's Gambino one I did earlier this year was probably the one that I learned a lot from, learning about textures and skin tones, and trying to like kind of do quite a few different things, as well as using something else as a reference. So like that, the Childish Gambino one is from the This Is America music video that he made out earlier this year, and I took quite a bit of time making that one because it was a very passionate piece for me and made me feel actually like I don't know if emotional is the best way, but it gave me feels. And so I created the art piece, and I learned while I was making it, like, oh, this skin tone could be lighter here because, you know, the sun's hitting from this direction. Or his hair is just not black, it's texture in it. There's like, you know, crinkles and swirls and whatever, curls and stuff in there. So it was a piece that kind of started a whole new kind of art style for me as I went along.
Who and what are your biggest art influences? So that could be in terms of things that inspire you, as well as other people or other art styles that you use when you're creating.
Well, first I would say you are a very huge part of a lot of my art pieces. I try to visualize how I would want to picture you in certain scenarios, and then like it doesn't always have to look generically like you for me because I don't know how to do like a amazing portrait, but I would say that a lot of it is inspired from you because I like to put feelings and emotions into my paintings.
Aww.
So I like to think about certain things that make me feel those emotional. Also, music as well is a very huge part. Like if you ever, well, I guess no one's seen me paint in like real life before besides you, but I blast music the whole time. You can hear me singing with my scrapey voice. With the swan line, trying to hit these notes.
What did you learn from dedicating more time to your art?
What I learned from spending my time on my art is consistency. I found out that I realized that when I focus on my art and I do it for weeks at a time, I make more art, and it's a lot easier for me to be more creative and continue making art. But when I stop for like a week, maybe 2 weeks, then it's harder for me to pick it back up again.
What do your family and friends think about you being an artist?
I think they think it's cool. Or they like that I'm doing something I enjoy.
When you were a kid, did you want to be an artist? And was that your dream? And if that wasn't your dream for your life, what was?
When I was younger, I wanted to be quite a few different things. I wanted to be an accountant. I wanted to be president. I wanted to be an engineer. I actually went to school. Well, I actually wanted to be an architect, and I ended up going to school to be a civil engineer. So art was kind of mixed in there, but it wasn't like the focus of my life when I was younger.
Were you supported to pursue art as a child?
Yes. My family was very supportive of me doing art. My mom signed me up for classes. My grandmother got me my first sketchbook. My friends were very supportive because they kind of did art as well. Not as much as me, but they did art as well, so I feel like I was just always in a supportive environment.
What advice can you give to people who want to be more artistic or creative?
When I was in junior high school, I went to Pratt Institute for a Saturday art class, and while I was doing that, I was showing my little cousins about the different arts I was doing, and they kind of got interested as well. And they kind of started doing art as well. And so the thing I used to tell them all the time is that don't ever look to me for approval for your art. It's your art, you have to like it. Not, regardless of what I say and how I feel, it's your art, you made it, you have feelings for it.
Do you make money off your art?
No, I do not. I was before when I was doing commission pieces, but I have stopped doing commission art, so right now I'm not making money on my art. I'm using this time to practice and build up my portfolio to figure out how I can make money with my art if I would like to in the future.
What do you want to improve on, or what do you aspire to do with your art in the future?
One of my goals is to work on a very, very big piece, and I'm slowly working my way up to working on bigger canvases. Lately, I've been trying to work on my techniques and being able to move my techniques from smaller canvases to bigger canvases And so this year I made a goal of working on to make 3 pieces of art on a 32 by 26 canvas, which is so far the biggest canvas I've worked on so far.
What feelings do you express in your art?
I like trying to use different colors to kind of express different emotions and show what I'm feeling as I make these pieces. I wouldn't say there's any one emotion that I choose, but I think a lot of them are pretty positive emotions. I don't think I've had any like depression paintings or sad paintings as of right now. That can always change, depends on how I feel. I don't think this is depressing.
What will you feel?
Oh. I don't know if it's depressing. I'll just say shy, because there's like a lot of emotion that's just being hidden right here. Like, you know, like the people, like kids in high school that like kind of hide in the like bush of hair and go through class and no one understands them. That's the feeling that one was good.
What was the one behind you?
That one was fierceness. It was like, you know, striking pose, showing command, like, I don't know, authority, pride, passion. I like this one. This painting definitely changed a few times too.
Mm-hmm. What is your favorite thing to paint and why?
My favorite thing to paint is black women. I love black women. I'm not opposed to painting other things. I just know that that's where my passion is, and I feel like black women have a very strong tie in my life because I was raised by black women. So like, I don't know, they're my favorite things to paint, or favorite topic to paint.
What's the strangest thing you've painted?
See, this one is my weirdest one that I've made. Just for the simple fact that it's kind of like an unfinished painting. I was in the midst of trying to practice and learn to do something different, and it just wasn't coming out. This painting has changed 3 times. So originally it was one painting I was doing, and then I completely painted over in black and made a whole nother painting, and then I painted over that in black and made this painting. I don't know what I was thinking when I did all that. So this is kind of just like the weirdest painting I have, because I don't even know what it is.
If you were to give it a name, what would you give it?
Something. Tell you, bring something to show and tell today. This is my something.
Have you ever had a piece that was commissioned and you got stuck? And if you got stuck, what did you do to get unstuck for that commissioned piece?
I'm trying to think. Yes, there were. Actually, I feel like every commission piece I had, I've always been stuck. The one I did for one of my friends from college, she wanted like a silhouette of a universe, a silhouette in the midst of a universe with the afro and stuff, and like I had an idea and I knew what I wanted and I had it down sketched very perfectly, but when I put that paint on, it just became something else. And that one I had to restart like twice because I was just so annoyed with how it was coming out.
Do you like the smell of paint?
Not really. It's alright. I would do without it.
What advice would you give your younger self about art?
Something's better than nothing. And that little something can become something bigger. See, something. I hope that I continue doing this for the long haul. I hope that the fruits from this does show a year from now, 2 years from now. Hopefully a year from today, my art style has changed again and I'm doing a lot better.
Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video, and we'll see you next time.